happy day, but welcome with your favorite podcaster. It's ennyarodasi, also known as Denny Beach. And I thought I was showering not too long ago. Dry shower hair. And we are vibing. So I was watching our episode from yesterday, and oh my gosh, I feel like every episode is progressively more and more lit. And so I got out of the shower and I put on a little bit of lipstick. And not such a dark color. Natural color. And my eye dropped because my allergies, the heat and the humidity, has my eyes burning throughout the day. So some eye drops help. So I remember I was talking about, I don't know if I should have this light up here. Right over here. And then bring it out that way. I think it's a little bit better. You can see my background, and so you can see more of the color, the colors and stuff. So I remember I was talking about my ex-relationship and my relationships before I would stream. And I realized that when I last streamed, I was checking my phone entirely too much. I feel like I was whenever things were becoming juicy, I was like checking my phone. So I apologize for that, YouTube. And so what I was talking about, the series of events, the series of fortunate events, I would like to classify it as, because it was, I told you guys that I've been in long-term relationships ever since I was like 15, and, noticing myself in the camera, realizing myself in the camera, I realized that not much has changed, I gained some weight. There was a time in history where I would drink enshares and stuff to gain weight. And now I'm gaining weight and I want to lose weight. So, that is a little bit of a difference. I'm probably 10 pounds overweight. And I'm tall, so I feel like it's proportioned, it's nicely proportioned, so there's no bitch in there, and so I was thinking about, I've been in a 4-year relationship, and a 10-year relationship, and I've been in relationships in between. And so the leading, so it started, the relationship journey to me streaming and me here now. That was
Cryptocurrency investing, when approached with a long-term perspective, can be a powerful way to build wealth while supporting an emerging technology that has the potential to reshape modern society. However, it requires a disciplined strategy, sensible allocation of resources, and a deep understanding of the market's potential and risks. This guide focuses on building a sustainable and well-informed cryptocurrency investment strategy for long-term success, emphasizing moderate spending of disposable income over the years. The foundation of long-term crypto investing starts with a clear belief in the transformative potential of blockchain technology and digital assets. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin have already disrupted traditional finance by offering a decentralized peer-to-peer system of value transfer. Ethereum has expanded the use case of blockchain by enabling smart contracts and decentralized applications, dApps. Other projects such as Cardano, Polkadot, and Solana are working to improve scalability, interoperability, and security. By understanding the utility and potential of these technologies, investors can develop confidence in their long-term viability. Before diving into crypto investing, it's essential to assess your financial situation. Begin by ensuring that you have an emergency fund covering 3 to 6 months of living expenses. This buffer protects you from financial instability and allows you to invest in crypto without undue stress. Next, determine how much of your disposable income you can allocate to crypto investments. A good rule of thumb is to invest no more than 5% to 10% of your disposable income, ensuring that you don't jeopardize your financial well-being. Once you've set your budget, focus on building a diversified crypto portfolio. Diversification reduces risk by spreading your investment across multiple assets with different use cases and risk profiles. Bitcoin, as the first cryptocurrency and a store of value, often serves as the anchor of a long-term portfolio. It's widely regarded as digital gold due to its fixed supply and decentralized nature. Ethereum, known for its robust ecosystem of decentralized applications and smart contracts, is another cornerstone investment. Beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum, consider allocating smaller portions of your portfolio to promising altcoins. Cardano, Polkadot, and Avalanche are notable for their focus on scalability and interoperability. Binance Coin and Solana are popular choices for their vibrant ecosystems and utility in decentralized finance, DeFi, and non-fungible tokens, NFTs. When selecting altcoins, prioritize projects with strong fundamentals, active development teams, and growing communities. Avoid speculative tokens that lack clear use cases or long-term potential. Dollar cost averaging, DCA, is an effective strategy for long-term crypto investing. Instead of trying to time the market, which is notoriously volatile and unpredictable, DCA involves investing a fixed amount of money at regular intervals, such as weekly or monthly. This approach smooths out the impact of market fluctuations and allows you to accumulate assets over time. For example, you might invest $100 in Bitcoin every month, regardless of its price. Over the years, this consistent approach can yield substantial gains as the market grows. Security is paramount in crypto investing. Start by choosing a reputable exchange for buying cryptocurrencies. Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, and Gemini are popular options for their security measures and user-friendly interfaces. After purchasing crypto, transfer it to a secure wallet. Hardware wallets like Ledger and Trezor are considered the gold standard for long-term storage, as they keep your private keys offline and safe from hacking attempts. Software wallets like MetaMask and Trust Wallet are suitable for smaller holdings or interacting with decentralized applications. Always enable two-factor authentication, 2FA, on your accounts and avoid sharing sensitive information online. Long-term crypto investing requires a focus on education and staying informed. The crypto landscape evolves rapidly, with new technologies, regulations, and market trends emerging regularly. Follow reputable news sources like CoinDesk, The Block, and Decrypt to stay updated. Participate in online communities such
I'm
as
not sure
Reddit's
if, you know,
r/slash
so
cryptocurrency or
the light
Twitter
bulb,
to engage with other
we have
investors
the
and
light
gain
from
diverse
outside.
perspectives.
You know, we have
However,
the
be
natural
cautious
light.
about unverified information
And
and
then we
hype-driven
have
content.
this
As your
one,
portfolio grows, periodically
here,
review and rebalance it to ensure
which
it aligns
brings
with your
that
goals and risk
natural light.
tolerance.
And then we
For
have
example, if an altcoin's value has
our
significantly increased and now represents a
triple
large
light.
portion of your portfolio, consider selling a portion to lock in profits and redistribute the funds to other assets. Rebalancing helps maintain diversification and protects against overexposure to any single asset. Taxes are an important consideration in crypto investing. In many countries, cryptocurrencies are treated as taxable assets, and transactions like selling, trading, or earning rewards through staking may trigger tax obligations. Use tools like CoinTracker, Coinly, or CryptoTrader. Tax to track your transactions and calculate your tax liability accurately. Consulting a tax professional with crypto expertise can also help you navigate complex regulations and optimize your tax strategy.
We were living together
Patience and resilience. The
for
crypto
a long
market is highly
time.
volatile.
Whenever I
Significant
was
price swings that can
17,
test even the most seasoned
I
investors.
was,
Focus on the long-term potential of your
I think I was,
investments
no, I was
rather than
19.
short-term price movements.
We lived
Remember,
together
successful investing is
in
not about
his
chasing quick profits,
grandfather
but
or
building
grandparents'
sustainable wealth over
shed.
time.
There was a
By
shed out
maintaining a
back,
disciplined approach
and
and believing in the
it had
transformative
TV,
power of blockchain
had stuff to
technology,
cook,
you can position
had
yourself for long-term
food
success in
time,
the cryptocurrency
you
market.
know, that converted
Cryptocurrency
into a
investing is
bed.
not without risks,
You know, we
but
had
with
our
careful planning, sensible
games,
spending,
that, you
and
know,
a
games
long-term
and stuff that
perspective,
we
it
would
can be a
play.
rewarding journey.
And,
By understanding
you know,
the
we had our
fundamentals,
friends that would come visit
diversifying your
us.
portfolio, and staying
So we had,
informed,
you know,
you can
recliner
navigate the
chairs and
complexities
stuff.
of the market with confidence.
And
Remember, the key to success lies in
we
patience,
lived there for a
education,
while
and consistent effort. Happy
until
investing. If you're looking
his,
to make the easiest
until
money
his
of your life
grandfather
online
had
on the
passed
internet,
away.
you need to check
And
out the
I was
exciting world
there.
of digital
I had
marketing.
taken off
This is a
work
quick
to,
introduction where I'll show you everything you
to
need to know to
you
get
know, care
started
for
doing digital
him and
marketing
the family
and
and cook
beyond. If you
and
apply
clean and
everything
stuff
shown in this
while he
video
was at
and put
work.
in an honest effort, I can
And
guarantee you that soon
then
you'll be making several $1,000s per month with the option to
then
scale
we
it
had
further if you so desire. In this day and age,
we
many
had
people are
purchased
quitting
our
their
place
9-to-5
in
jobs
the
and moving over
mountains.
to the world of digital
And it was
marketing and
definitely
making 6
a
and even
huge
7
upgrade
figures a year
from
from the comfort
the
of their
shed
own
because,
homes,
you
while
know,
others choose to
anytime you
use
need
their
to shower,
newfound
anytime you
freedom to
need
travel all
to,
around the world while they run their
anytime you
online
need
hustle on the
to,
side. In this video, we'll cover digital marketing,
you
affiliate
know,
marketing,
wash your
Google
hands
AdSense,
or,
Wix,
you know, any
Amazon,
water
building
stuff.
your very own
You know, we
website,
did
and more.
have,
Let's get
at one
started.
point, we had
Digital marketing is all about
used
promoting
the
products
hose
or
line
services online.
to
You've
make
probably
shift a
seen
bunch of
examples of
stuff.
it every day,
But
from
it was just,
Instagram
you know,
ads
it
to
was just
YouTube
easier
sponsorships
to
to
be
those
inside the
blog
house.
posts that sneakily include links to
And,
buy
you
something.
know,
What makes digital
we
marketing
would
so powerful is
food
its
shower
ability to
together,
leverage. You can
you
start
know,
small
to
and with the right
conserve
strategy,
water and
grow it into
conserve
a sustainable
energy
source
and,
of income.
you know.
So let's start by breaking it down
It
into
was
3 major
almost like,
components:
it was
affiliate
similar
marketing,
to
Google
a
AdSense, and
traditional
website
Indian
building.
family.
I'll walk you
Like,
through
you
each
know,
step, share
they have the
tips, and
arranged
throw in real-world
marriages
examples to help you
and,
succeed. First up, affiliate
you know,
marketing.
they
If
live
you've
together
ever
with
clicked on
their
a product
parents
link in a
and stuff.
YouTube video description or a
And
blog, chances are it has
so,
an affiliate link. Essentially,
whenever,
affiliate marketing allows you to earn a
whenever
commission
we
every
had,
time someone buys a product through
we
your
had
unique link. Let me give you an example.
moved to
Imagine you're
Amazon,
passionate about fitness. You could create a blog where
and
you review fitness
there's
equipment
been
like
many
yoga
times
mats or
since we've
dumbbells.
lived
You
there
sign up for an
that,
affiliate
you
program,
know, I've
let's
had,
say
you know,
Amazon
it was on and
Associates,
off,
and every time someone clicks on
and,
your link and buys that yoga mat, you earn a percentage of the sale. Pretty cool, right? But how do you actually start?
and
First, pick a niche. This could be
so
anything you're
there's
passionate
been
about or
many
have knowledge of.
stories.
It could be tech
You know,
gadgets, travel gear, fashion,
we've
or
had
even
many
something
bad
super
times,
niche
and
like
just as
gardening
many
tools.
bad
The more
times, we've had really
specific,
good
the better.
times.
Once you've chosen your niche,
And,
sign up for affiliate
you know, we've
programs
shared
like
all of that,
ShareSale,
you
ClickBank, or
know,
Amazon Associates.
and
They'll provide you with links to use in your
any of
content.
those.
Next, create a
So,
platform. This could be a blog, a
I was
YouTube channel,
DJing
or
in
even an
Charlotte,
Instagram page. Your
and
goal is to create content that
it was a release, for me, because being cooped up in the mountains all the time, and he didn't necessarily enjoy to, he didn't enjoy to interact with what I was doing. Like, I would have to call my friend that picked me up from Virginia. And we worked together at Papa John's at the time.
Every time someone views or clicks on those ads. So how do you get started? First, you'll need a website or blog.
And my sidekick.
We'll cover how to build
As a matter of fact,
once you've got your site up and running, head to the
on
Google
my diamond
AdSense
board,
website and
he's
apply for an account.
sidekick
Google
beat.
will review your site to ensure it meets their guidelines. This means having original content, a clean design, and pages like About Us and Contact to show you're a legitimate creator. Once approved,
there's no filters on here.
To place on your website. This code dynamically generates ads that are relevant to your content. For example, if you're writing about travel, your site might display ads for luggage or flight
sidekick
services.
and,
the best part,
my friend
AdSense
Ninja.
works in the background
My friend Ninja
had to maximize your earnings
gotten
with
us
AdSense,
into a head-on
we'll
collision
cover traffic
in
strategies
Charlotte
in just a moment.
on,
But remember,
there's,
the more visitors your site
there's
gets,
4
the higher
lanes,
your
and then
potential
there's
revenue.
just,
Now let's
there's
get
into
just paint
website
in the
building.
road
Your
for
website
the
is your digital
median.
home. It's where you'll
And
host your
Ninja was my
blogs,
DD.
display
After one of my
affiliate
gigs,
links, and run
I was
AdSense
way
ads.
too drunk to
Building a
drive,
website might sound
and my
intimidating,
friend was
but it's
having an
easier than
after
ever,
party, so
even if you're not
we
tech
attended
savvy.
the after
Step
party,
1. Choose a
and
domain
there's a
name.
picture on my
Your
Facebook
domain is your
where I did
website's name.
a bar trick where I balanced
MyAwesomeFitnessBlog.com.
2 forks
Choose something memorable
on,
and related to your niche. For
2
hosting,
forks
I recommend
on
platforms like Bluehost or
what is
SiteGround.
it,
They're beginner-friendly and
a
affordable.
toothpick.
Step 2.
Toothpick and an
Install
salt shaker, and
WordPress.
then balance
WordPress
2
is a
forks
popular content
on
management system that
a
powers
toothpick
over
like that.
40% of
So,
the web. It's
toothpicks
free,
like that, and I balance the
customizable,
fork
and perfect for beginners.
right here.
Most hosting providers have a one-click
It,
WordPress
you know,
installation process.
centrifugal force
Design your website. Choose a
and
clean,
cool bar trick.
user-friendly theme.
And so I was
You can
like,
find free themes directly in WordPress or go premium for more customization options. Add
while it
essential
was
pages
balancing,
like your
I was like,
homepage,
oh, I'm
an
making
about
it
page,
float.
a blog section, and a contact
So,
page. Step 4. Publish
he was
high-quality
driving me back to my
content.
car,
Your content
and
is the
he
heart of
swerved
your website.
into
Write blog
incoming
posts that provide
traffic,
value to your audience. For
and
example, if
we
you're
had a
in the
head-on
fitness
collision.
niche, create posts
And
like
thank God I was
mats for
my
beginners, or
Facebook,
how to stay fit while
and I had
traveling.
my
Use
legs
tools
in the
like
chair,
Canva to add visuals and
and
make your posts
I
stand
was
out. If
I was on my
WordPress feels a
Facebook.
bit
So
too technical,
whenever,
don't worry.
I kind of looked up
Wix make
very
website
last
building
minute and didn't
incredibly
have
easy,
any time to
even for
brace.
absolute beginners. Wix
So
is a drag and drop website builder, meaning you
the
can literally
front and side
drag
airbags had
and
deployed. It
place
knocked me
elements
out,
wherever you
and I
want.
remember
What's great about Wix is its
it must
simplicity.
have
It offers
bumped off of
templates
the,
for all kinds of websites,
it must
from
have,
blogs to online stores.
bumped off of
You
the
don't need
first
to know
car,
any coding, and you can
and then
customize your
hit
site
a
in just
second
a
car,
few clicks. For
because
example,
my door
if
was
you're starting
kind
a
of,
photography blog,
my door
Wix
was
has
kind of
pre-designed templates
squished
tailored
in,
for photographers.
and then
Just
we
add
hit a
your text and
telephone,
images
then we hit a
and you're good to
telephone
go.
pole.
Wix also includes
And
built-in SEO tools,
all
so
I
you can
remember
optimize your site to rank on
is
search engines. Plus, they
Ninja
have
screaming my
integrations for
name,
features like
Jenny!
forms and
Jenny! And he
e-commerce
was
functionality.
crying because,
If you're looking for a quick and easy
because
way
I
to
was
build
I was
your
knocked
first
out, and
website, Wix is a fantastic
he
option.
didn't know, and then
Let's
I
switch
came
gears and
to,
talk about
and
another
he's screaming
powerful
my name,
way
he's
of
crying,
selling on Amazon. Whether
and
it's through their fulfillment by
there's,
Amazon program,
it looks like there's
or
smoke
simply listing
in
products
the
as a
car,
seller, Amazon provides a
and
massive
there's this
platform to reach millions of
beep,
customers.
and I have
Step 1.
PTSD,
Decide what to
so
sell.
anytime,
Start by researching products
I
in
am
demand.
very stressed,
Tools like Jungle Scout or
I hear
Helium
it
10 can
think,
help you find trending items with
it
low
was
competition.
really loud
For
though,
example,
and
reusable water bottles,
so
phone accessories, or kitchen gadgets are
I
always popular.
remember,
Step 2. Sign up for an Amazon
I thought the
seller
car was
account.
on fire,
The Amazon Seller
because
Central
and
website
I think it was because the smoke from
you
the
can choose
airbags
between an
in the
individual
air, it
plan
was
for
just,
individual sellers
I
or a professional plan
thought there was
if you plan to
fire.
sell in bulk.
I was like, Ninja, we have to get out of the car.
You can source
And
products in
so
several ways.
I
Wholesale, buy in bulk from
I
suppliers,
I pushed on the car door opened. I fell into the street. And whenever I fell into the street, I was like, all of a sudden my neck and my back was hurting. I was like, oh no, I might be hurt. So, and I was wearing this trench coat. So I laid down in the lady's yard with the phone pole was on. And it was because the gig was on a Saturday night, and then we were at the after party till Sunday morning. So there was a church bus or a church van that pulled over, and I remember laying there, and all I remember seeing was faces all around me, and they were praying for me, and and until the ambulance got there, and then a ninja rode with me in the ambulance and to the hospital, and that was the very first time that I ever got high on pain pills, because they had, they given me a drip with pain medicine. And I remember at first I was like, I'm still in pain. And all my friends in school, they used to abuse painkillers. I never did. And I remember everything was kind of fuzzy from there. My memory was kind of fuzzy. I remember my friend John stayed with me in the hospital,
improving your website's visibility on search engines.
He stayed with me in the
If you're
hospital
serious about starting an SEO
for the whole time that I was
then you
there.
need
He had to
become
work,
proficient with
and
at
then
least
he
one of these
would
tools.
work, and then he
Let's
would
take a
come
look
back
at
to the
them.
hospital
Ahrefs and
and
SEMrush
stay
are
with
like
me. I have
Batman
some
and
really
Superman of the
good
SEO
friends,
world. Both are
and
incredible tools,
you
but
know,
each
I
has
can't
its own strengths
forget
depending on your needs and
how
goals.
many
So
people
we're
that
going
I
to break it
have,
down into sections. What each
and
tool
that's
does
something
best, how they
that,
compare in key features, and which
whenever
one might
I
be a good fit
was
for you.
living in the
Let's start with
mountains, I
Ahrefs.
started
If
to
you're all about
isolate
backlinks and
myself
content, this tool
from
is your
all my
best friend.
friends.
Ahrefs is primarily
And,
known for its
my
massive
friends would
database of
visit me in the
backlinks.
mountain.
You can analyze any website to
My,
see who's linking to it,
my
what
friend,
content is performing well,
alright,
and how
so
much organic traffic it's getting.
my friend
For
that
example,
was best
if you run a
friends
fitness blog
with
and
my
want to
ex,
outrank a competitor's
he
article on top 10
lived
mats,
in,
you can use Ahrefs to see which
he
sites
lived with
are
his mom
linking
at the
to that
time.
article. From there,
And
you can reach out to those sites and pitch your own content as a better alternative. Pretty
he
powerful, right?
would
Ahrefs
he would come and
also
visit
has a
me
great Site Explorer feature.
in Kings
It's like
Mountain,
an X-ray for any website,
and
showing you top
he
performing
just,
pages,
he loved
keywords,
the
and
scenery,
traffic sources.
he loved the
The Content Explorer
atmosphere,
tool is another gem,
and,
helping you
he
find trending
always,
topics
everyone
and
always
content
enjoyed my
ideas in your
company.
niche. Now let's talk about
Beyond me
SEMrush.
DJing,
This
after
tool is
my
like the
DJ
Swiss Army
setter
knife of
before my
digital
set,
marketing.
I would
It
always
doesn't
hang
just
out with
focus on
everyone.
SEO, but offers a full
I would
suite of
always,
tools for content marketing, paid ads, social
I would
media, and
always
even competitive
enjoy
research.
everyone's
One
company.
of SEMrush's standout
And
features is its keyword magic tool.
so,
Let's say you're working on a blog post about best
whenever I was,
SEMrush will give you a massive list of
whenever I was,
along with search volume, keyword difficulty, and even question-based
there was
keywords.
really not
One of the
many,
best hiking trails
times in
available for you.
between where I was
This makes
dating
it
somebody or
super
I wasn't
easy to
dating
plan
someone.
content that your audience is
know,
already searching for.
I was either with
SEMrush
someone
also
or I
shines in
was,
its site audit feature.
single for,
It crawls your site and gives you a
a few
detailed
weeks
report
or
on
something like
technical
that.
SEO issues.
And
Like
the
broken
longest
links or slow
that
page
I've,
speed.
I've held
Fixing these issues
being
can give your
single
site a big
without,
SEO
jumping
boost.
into
Alright,
a
so how do
relationship,
Ahrefs and
because
SEMrush stack up against
I,
each other?
I feel like a guy, I'm traditional. I feel like a guy needs to
Backlink
ask
analysis.
me to be his
If backlinks are
girlfriend,
your priority,
and then,
Ahrefs is the
make
clear
the
winner.
efforts
Your
to,
backlink database is larger,
to keep me
and the
happy.
reports are more detailed. SEMrush does a decent job here, but Ahrefs has the edge when it comes to accuracy and depth.
And I think that's
2. Keyword
traditional,
research.
and
Both
I
tools
think
are
that's
excellent for keyword
the
research,
right way
but SEMrush's
to
keyword
approach relationships, you know, especially nowadays, because sometimes people aren't clear about their feelings. Sometimes people aren't clear about, how they are, what their intentions are, and if they even have an intention, And I think that that's something, because that's something important, because, you know, to,
So, which tool is right for you? It depends
to tell how you are and things that you enjoy, and then, realize that,
on the other hand, if you need a broader range of tools for SEO,
the
content,
tandemness
and paid marketing,
of
SEMrush is the better choice.
certain
But here's a
things
pro
and
tip.
stuff and
Both
such.
Ahrefs and
You
SEMrush
know,
offer free trials. If you're not sure which one suits your needs, sign up for both trials
I
and
remember
test them.
whenever I was
Use the
a,
trial period to analyze your website
I was
and
a
get a feel
waitress,
for each platform. Let's look
and
at some real-world examples of how these tools can help.
I remember the old
Ahrefs for
couples that would
backlink
come in,
outreach. Imagine you
and,
run a small
they
online
would
store
tell,
selling eco-friendly
there's something
products.
about the
You've
South
written a blog post on 5
that
ways to
people
reduce plastic
are
waste.
together
With Ahrefs,
for,
you can find sites linking to similar
from the
content
time that
and
they're
reach
really
out to
young,
suggest your article as a resource.
till,
SEMrush
till
for
death do
local
them part.
SEOIF.
And,
You're a local business,
that's
SEMrush can help you dominate
that's
local
something
search. Use the
that's
keyword
something
tool to
amazing.
find terms like
That's
best coffee shop in
something
your city and optimize
really
your website's content around those
romantic,
terms. The
and
site audit tool can also ensure your
gives
Google
you
My Business
reason
page is
every
properly
day
set up.
to
And that's the
romanticize
breakdown of
life.
Ahrefs and SEMrush.
Because some people,
Both are incredible
they
tools.
romanticize
One you
life
choose
by,
depends on your specific
talking to
goals.
people
Are
on
you Team
Facebook,
Ahrefs or Team SEMrush?
seeing how many
Now let's
people
look
they
a
could
little more
bang,
closely at
and,
Amazon affiliates.
not
Affiliate
necessarily
marketing
seeing
with
how many
Amazon
people
is
they
an
could bang,
excellent way to
but,
monetize your website,
keep
blog,
like
or even
a
social
track
media
record
platforms.
of,
The idea is simple. You promote
some
products
people
from
are
Amazon,
weird.
and when someone
The
makes a
social
purchase
media
through your
age
affiliate link, you earn a commission.
mixed with,
Sounds easy, right?
because there was
But
the
there's more to
chivalrous
it than
age,
just dropping links.
and then
Let's
there
break it all
was
down. The first step to
you
getting
know,
started is
the
signing up for the
Industrial
Amazon
Revolution,
Associates program.
that was around the chivalrous age. And
Don't
then
worry, it's free to join.
there was
During the sign-up process, you'll need to
the
provide
technology
information
boom.
about your website,
And,
app, or
from
social
there,
platforms where you plan to share affiliate links.
we lived in
If you don't
the
have a website
social
yet,
media
don't stress.
generation,
You can still
which
use your
came
YouTube
after
channel,
the technology
Instagram
boom.
page, or even
And
a TikTok account as a
so
platform for promoting
the
Amazon
technology,
products. Once you're approved,
the technology boom, most of those people
products on Amazon. Before you start promoting products, it's crucial
married
to
or,
a niche
it's
is a
easily
specific
that they,
area of interest or
they meet
expertise
people
that your content will
and,
focus on.
and they
Examples
marry
of
each
niches
other.
include fitness,
And,
tech gadgets,
you know,
home improvement, or even
there's been so
For
many,
let's say you love cooking.
upgrades,
You can create content
and,
around kitchen
women
gadgets,
had to fight for
or
their rights,
books. By
you
focusing
know,
on a niche,
and
you'll
in
attract
different
a
parts of the
target
world,
audience that's more likely
with
to
religion
engage
and
with your
stuff.
content and purchase
Like,
your
for
affiliate
instance, the
links.
Protestant
Pro
religion,
tip.
or not the Protestant
Follow
religion, it's the
trends
Protestant
and Ahrefs to
denomination.
research trending topics
They
and keywords in your
believe
niche.
that
This
women
will help
have to
you
be
choose products that
submissive to
people
the
are
man.
actively searching for.
And I
Now
was
that you
having a
have your niche, it's
conversation
time to create
that
content
I
that promotes
feel like,
Amazon products. The key here is to provide
it's
value to your
alright
audience.
for,
You don't
because
just
now
spam your affiliate
there's
links.
more stay-at-home
Instead,
dads than ever
create
before,
content that solves
you
a
know,
problem or answers a
and
question.
there's
Examples
more
of content include
women
product
that
reviews.
can,
Write or film in-depth reviews of Amazon products in your niche.
hold it down for the
instance,
family.
top 5 blenders for
And
smoothies is a
so,
great topic if you're in the fitness
I
niche.
think that
How-to guides.
it's
Create
really, and then there's the traditional men
For example,
that
blog
believe
post
that they
titled, "How to
should
Organize
take
Your
care of their
Closet Where
girls,
It's Must Have Storage
and
Solutions,"
that they should
and
live
include
together,
links to storage
and
bins
they
and
should both be
lists and
submissive to
comparisons.
each other.
10 best tech gadgets under $50 or wireless earbuds. Showdown. Which one is best for you? Pro tip. Use
And
high-quality
so,
visuals. If you're creating
anywho,
videos, show the product in
back
action.
to my
If it's a
story.
blog, include clear images
So,
of products with captions
I
explaining
was-
features. When you're
I
part of
was
the Amazon Associates
living
you'll be given unique
with my ex at the time, and then I moved back with my mom because, we were having, we were arguing all the time. We were not choosing to be submissive to one another, and, we were not being the best that we could to each other. And so I moved back with my mom, and around that time I started, there was this guy that I met at a party, and I always swore to myself, I was like, I'm never gonna date a guy from the scene. I was like, I'm never gonna date a guy from the scene. And he wasn't necessarily from the scene. He was dating this girl at the time. And I remember he kind of pulled me off to the side, and we were talking about spirituality, and we were talking about God. And that's kind of cool, because at parties, people are just, in shit-faced, that, they're not talking about religion, spirituality, or whatnot. They're not having, deep conversations with each other, which is very kind of shallow. And, we were both smoking a cigarette outside, and he asked me if I knew God, and I'm like, yeah, I grew up in church. And, we started having a conversation about spirituality, religion, and, different religions, and how, how the similarities within lifestyle and all that different stuff. And he was telling me about his, girlfriend, and that I felt really, that was really respectful. He was like, oh, my girlfriend died, I should check on her. I was like, it was nice meeting you. And he's like, I'm a big fan, I always watch your shows, I always come to your shows, and I was like, I remember seeing you out of the corner of my eye quite a few times, so it's nice to finally meet you. And so, we connect on, months and months later, we connect on Facebook, and, he messages me, and I normally don't respond, I'll respond to text, I wouldn't respond to Facebook messages and stuff. And so I was, alright, so I would,
Write down a list of potential niches. Once you have
I responded, and, he asked me if I wanted to attend dinner. He brought me to dinner, and, and he was very chivalrous, and, at dinner, he was telling me how, he's been out of a relationship, he's been out of that relationship for a long time, and I told him about my relationship, and that, I just moved back with my mom, and that, we, we were, we weren't in relationships at the time, and, it had been, a long time for him, and he was over her, and it had been a long time for me, and, I was trying to get over my relationship, and God rest his soul, the one that, he brought me out to eat, he bought me some stuff, he was so romantic, I appreciate the chivalry, because nowadays, with hookup culture and all that stuff, and he took the time out till he was like, you know, I really like you, and I want you to know that, and, you know, I want you to, you know, I would really like it if you would be my girlfriend. Would you be my girlfriend? And, you know, I was like, yeah. And
an extensive app store make it a compelling option. To start with Shopify, choose a subscription plan that fits your needs.
You know, he brought me on more dates, and, you know, at the time he had wrecked his car, so, you know, I would have to drive to see him. Unless, you know, his parents let him use the car, and, you know, things and stuff and such. You know, and so we were dating, and while we were dating, I introduced him, or no, it was actually before we were dating. It was, you know, he would always attend my gigs and my shows. He was always a big fan of me, and, you know, he was friends with groups of friends that I was friends with. And, you know, I had introduced him at one of my warehouse parties to the one that was my roommate. And then him, and before he was my roommate, he was just a friend, you know, a fan. You know, I had introduced the two, and they had become best friends. And so we've been dating for some months, and, you know,
its keyword magic tool is particularly useful for finding long-tail keywords
almost a year. We were dating for a while,
to track your search
and
rankings over time, giving you insights into what's working and what needs improvement. Now let's
we
focus
never,
on part of your affiliate marketing strategy.
we always wanted to move in together.
High-quality
And
content is what
we were in
attracts
similar
visitors to your site
situations,
and
you
persuades them to
know,
click your affiliate
and
links. Start by conducting thorough
he had, you know, he lost his
Use
car,
tools like Ahrefs,
so,
SEMrush, or Ubersuggest
you know, everything was a little bit harder for him, and, you know, I was working at the time,
keywords are specific
so,
phrases like best budget laptops
everything
for
was
students,
alright for
or
me,
how
you
to
know,
set
I
up a
would,
home gym
you know,
or
I made
gym.
it work,
These keywords
and
often have lower search
so
volume, but higher conversion rates because they indicate a clear
I
intent. Once you've identified your
had
keywords, start
got a
creating
phone
content
call
around them. There are several
from
types
his
of content that work
ex-girlfriend's
well for affiliate
boyfriend at
marketing.
the time,
Product reviews are a
and I
Write
had told him
detailed,
about it,
unbiased reviews
and
that
he was
highlight
like,
the pros and
yeah,
cons
he
of each
called me
product.
too,
Be honest and
and
thorough.
he's
Your
like,
readers will appreciate
you
your
know,
transparency.
Comparison
articles are another effective format. For example, you could write an article comparing two popular products.
not talking very nicely about his
Peloton
ex,
versus Nordic Track,
and,
which is
you
better
know,
for home workouts.
that's,
How-to guides
you
and
know, that's
tutorials are
alright.
also valuable. These types of content provide actionable advice and
Anywho,
establish you as an authority in your niche.
I told, you know, he had told me the story. He's
Use
like,
subheadings,
you know,
bullet points, and images to break
like,
up
I'm
large
from
blocks of
Colombia, he's like,
text.
I'm from
Add
Colombia,
call-to-action buttons or
he's like, I
hyperlinks
moved
that
to
direct readers to
Charlotte, you
Amazon
know, he's like,
product
I got a
pages,
job,
including original
you know,
visuals like
and,
photos, videos,
you
or
know, I'm always
infographics,
staying in the
making
hotel
content
room,
more
and
engaging and shareable. If you're not a
and
designer, tools like Canva and
he was
Adobe
like,
Express
you know,
can help you create
he asked
professional-looking graphics with ease.
if
To ensure your
we could have
content
some
reaches a
drinks
wider
together
audience,
and talk
you'll need
about
to
it.
master search
And
engine
I asked
optimization,
my
SEO.
boyfriend at the time, I was like, you
On-page
want to come
SEO
with us, have
involves
some drinks, you
optimizing
know?
individual pages
He
for
was like,
specific
nah.
keywords.
He's like,
Start by incorporating
that guy had
targeting
called
more
him
naturally into your
and contacted him on
meta
Facebook,
description, headings,
and,
and body text.
you know,
Avoid
told him the whole story through
Instead,
Facebook. He's
focus on
like,
writing
nah, I
for
don't
your
want to,
audience first
you know, I
and
don't want
search
to have to
engines
go
second.
through that, and,
Internal
you know, I'm
linking
not
is
trying to
another
be,
important
you know,
aspect
I'm not
of
trying to be
on-page
close to them like
SEO.
that.
Link
I was
to
like,
related
well,
articles on
you know,
your
neither
site
am
to keep
I.
readers engaged
You
and
know,
improve
it's
your
like
site's
I
structure.
feel bad for the guy because he
Technical
doesn't
SEO
know
is just
anyone.
as
You know, he
important.
doesn't know
Your
anyone in
website should
Charlotte.
load quickly as slow
And
sites tend to
so,
rank lower on Google. Use caching plugins like
and he doesn't know how
Rocket to
people
speed
are
up
in
your site.
Charlotte. Every city is different, and I'm not saying that people in Charlotte are unsteady or anything like that. You just have to, be, very careful with your friend groups and stuff. And you don't want to fall, it's really important that you don't fall into the wrong friend groups because, it is a big city. The surrounding area, it's just a small world, and, networks of friends, it's, you don't want to have a bad name for yourself, in other words. So you want to, you want to carry on with the right people and stuff. And I had told one of my friends that, about me, in the hospital and stuff. You just didn't know my relationship with, whenever I was alone that time and streaming, I went from being a very extroverted person to a very introverted person. And my family was like, is there something wrong with you? And because I was drinking and stuff, I was like, no, I was kind of, self-medicating with, weed and alcohol, and, and different, I would, different stuff. Sometimes I would have mushrooms, it's, life is an experimental journey sometimes. And, so, anywho, realizing the different groups of friends and things and stuff and such, and how things have a way of, rumors and stuff like that. They have a way of working their way around, and, if you're not a kind of person that talks that much shit, somehow rumors, get back to you quicker, and you're like, all this, all this dirt on, all these people, and, it's like, things and stuff and such. Anywho.
Ideal for tech-savvy audiences. SaaS affiliate programs such as those offered by
So,
HubSpot, ActiveCampaign, and SMrush can also be highly
profitable.
These programs offer
I had decided to,
you'll continue earning as long as the
I decided to have drinks with him, and he bought the drinks, he, filled up my, gas, he gave me a little extra money for to have an oil change or whatever, and then he asked me if I would carpool him. Now, my boyfriend at the time, he really trusted me, and, I gave him a reason to trust me, and, we trusted each other, we were very honest with each other, and, that makes a really good relationship. Anyway, so,
research, backlink analysis, and tracking your rankings. For content creation, Grammarly
I had brought him back to the hotel, and mind you, I remember the girl because, she had used to attend all my DJ gigs, she was always there, she's a party girl, and, things and stuff and such,
and Skillshare are also excellent resources for more affordable courses.
We've all had our moments, we've all had our instances, and sometimes you could, they think, well, being a DJ, you're kind of the head of the party, so I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna speak down about people that party because, there's functioning party attendees, you know,
Conduct regular
and
A/B tests to determine
they have
which
jobs and stuff, and they party.
and page
So,
layouts perform best.
you know,
Update your
it is what
content
it is. It's
periodically
kind of
to
a
keep
culture,
fresh
it's kind of a
and relevant, and
lifestyle,
don't be afraid to experiment
it's
with
kind
new
of,
strategies.
you know, what you make of
Affiliate
it.
marketing is a journey
And
that
because it was a
requires
culture and a
patience,
lifestyle,
consistency, and a
you know,
willingness to learn.
my
By following
boyfriend,
these steps and leveraging
before
tools
I,
and
you know,
resources, you can
my
create a
boyfriends that
sustainable
I
income
was
stream
living
that
with
grows over time.
before I
Stay
moved back to
focused,
mom's,
keep experimenting, and
you
never
know,
stop
he
improving. The possibilities are endless. Investing
was
in the
a
stock
home,
market,
he was a home, you know,
cryptocurrencies, real
homebody.
estate, and other
And
asset
so,
classes has become one of the most
you
popular
know,
ways to build wealth over
he
time.
would,
However,
you
success in
know,
investing
he
isn't
wouldn't
about
want
luck.
to
It's about
attend the
knowledge,
parties with me and
strategy,
stuff like
and
that. You know,
discipline.
that just wasn't
In
his
this
thing.
comprehensive guide, we will
And
explore
I
everything you
respect
need
that,
to know to
you
get
know.
started, from understanding different types of investments and
He
platforms
would,
to building a diversified portfolio.
he would be my
using
ride,
tools
you
for
know,
analysis.
to and from
By
events
the end, you'll
sometimes,
have a
and,
clear roadmap for
you know,
navigating the world of
whenever, you
investments
know,
with
because
confidence.
he would work
The
in and
first
out of
step
town
in your
sometimes,
investing
and
journey
I would
is
travel with
understanding the
him,
different asset
and,
classes
you
and what
know,
they offer.
sometimes I
The
would
stock
have
market is a
gigs
great
outside of
starting
town
point
too,
for
so
beginners.
it
Stocks
just worked
represent
out.
ownership in a company,
And
when you buy a
any
stock,
hoodles,
you become a shareholder.
so
Stocks can be categorized broadly into growth stocks, which are
I
expected to grow
was,
at an above-average rate, value stocks,
you know,
which
I
are
was
considered
helping this guy
undervalued
out,
by the market,
you know,
and dividend
because
stocks, which pay regular
his
income to
girlfriend was
shareholders. The key to
running all
stock
over the
investing is
place,
understanding your risk
and,
tolerance and investment
you
goals.
know,
Are you looking for steady income, or are you
and
willing
he
to take
needed,
on more
you
risk for
know,
higher
and
potential
she had a
growth?
car,
Real estate
and
is another
because she
powerful
was running
asset
all over
class
the
that has
place,
been
you
a
know, he didn't
cornerstone
have
of wealth building
a
for
dependable
centuries.
ride,
Real
and I
estate
was working
investing
at the
involves
time, and
purchasing,
he offered me
owning,
more than I was
managing,
making at my
renting,
job,
or selling
so it was
property
like,
for profit.
yeah, you know,
For
I'll,
beginners,
you
it's
know, I'll
essential to
carpool,
understand the various
and
types of real
I
estate
told my boyfriend
investments
about it at
available.
the time,
Residential real estate
and
includes single-family
he was
homes,
like, you know, yeah, that's
apartments,
cool,
and
he's like,
vacation
make that money.
properties. These
So,
can generate income
so,
through rental payments, and their value often appreciates over time.
so I was
Commercial real
carpooling,
estate involves
and
properties used for business
I,
purposes, such as office buildings,
I was bringing
retail
him
spaces,
back
or
to his
warehouses.
hotel.
These typically
He was
require
like,
larger investments, but can
like,
yield
ah,
higher
shit.
rental
He's like,
income and
I
long-term
don't get paid
appreciation.
until
Industrial
Friday.
real estate
It
encompasses
was like,
properties used for
it was like a
manufacturing,
Thursday
storage,
night.
and
He's like,
distribution.
and
Like
I don't
factories
have the
and
money for the
logistics
hotel
centers,
tonight.
this can be
And I was like,
lucrative,
I was
especially
like,
in
oh
areas with
no.
growing e-commerce
And
demand.
he's like, well, can
Real
I
estate
crash on your
investment
couch?
trusts, or REITs,
And
are
I was like,
companies that own,
yeah, why
operate,
not?
or finance
And I let him crash on
income-generating
my
real
couch,
estate.
and I woke
They
up,
allow investors
and
to
him
buy
and my
shares
mom
and earn
were
dividends
having
without
coffee in the
owning physical
morning,
properties.
and
House flipping involves buying
my mom was
undervalued
like,
properties,
he's gonna move
renovating
in.
them,
I was
and
like,
selling them at a
what?
higher
You know,
price. While it can
like,
be
yeah,
profitable,
he's gonna
house
move
flipping
in.
requires careful market
And
research and
so
project
he
management.
moved in,
Short-term
he was
rentals
staying with us, he was
facilitated by
staying on the
platforms
couch,
like Airbnb
and around
have
that
also become
time,
popular but require
you know,
knowledge of local regulations
with,
and
you know, with
effective property
carpooling him and
management.
stuff,
For those new to
you
real
know,
estate,
I
starting
didn't
with
have,
residential
you
properties
know, I didn't have
is
much
often
time
the
to
most
see my
accessible
boyfriend.
option. If
So,
you're interested in purchasing your first property, you should begin by educating yourself. Learn the basics of real estate investing by reading books like The Millionaire
you know,
Real Estate Investor
we
by
kind
Gary
of,
Keller, or taking online courses.
and, you know,
Familiarize yourself with terms like
getting
ROI,
real hard
which
into
stands for
drugs and
return on
stuff.
investment,
And,
which is net
you know,
operating
every
income,
time I did have time
cap
to, you
rates,
know, spend with
which
him,
measure the return on
you
the
know,
real estate investment.
he
Determine how much you can
was,
afford to
you know,
invest by setting a budget that
making up
includes the down
excuses and
payment,
stuff. And,
closing
you know,
costs,
whenever you're with someone,
and
you want to spend as
emergency
much
fund
time
for
with
unexpected
as you can with
repairs
that
or
person.
vacancies.
You know,
If
if
you're financing a
anything,
property,
you know,
work with a
you know,
lender
you
to
might
get
even want to
waived
live with
for
that
mortgage,
person.
as
You
this will
know,
help you
and
understand your
because
borrowing
that's a whole journey. You know, living, you know, living with someone that you love. You know, living with someone that you care about. You know, coming to love. You know, any hoodles. So we were, you know, our relationship was a bit tumultuous, and because his ex's boyfriend or ex-boyfriend at the time was staying with me, and that whole situation was kind of complicated. And so, yeah, around that time, my friend, my boyfriend, my ex's best friend, he's like, I need a roommate. He's like, come live with me. He's like, guess what? I'm living in the mountains. And I was like, no way, that's cool. But I wish you were living in the mountains whenever I was living in the mountains. He's like, why don't you and, the guy that you're giving a ride to, why don't you and your friend come visit me and, spend the night? So we rode out there, we spent the night, and he's like pretty much begging me to live with him. And
these platforms allow you to
so
invest in diversified real estate portfolios
we end up,
with relatively small amounts of
moving
capital,
to Kings
though it's
Mountain,
important to read the
and
fine print and understand the fees
I
involved.
started,
Cryptocurrencies are
I
a
started,
rapidly growing asset class.
I started
These digital
dating
assets operate on
my
blockchain
friend,
technology, a
for a
decentralized ledger
while,
system that
and
ensures
then
transparency and security.
because I was
Bitcoin, the first
streaming, I started
cryptocurrency,
streaming,
introduced the concept of
while he
peer-to-peer
was at
digital
work
payments
and I
without
was
the
waiting
need
for
for a
him to get off
centralized
work,
authority like a bank.
I would stream
Ethereum
because
expanded on this by enabling
I didn't want to sleep the
programmable
day
smart
away,
contracts,
so
which
I
are
would stream
self-executing
and that would keep
agreements
me
coded
preoccupied.
directly onto the blockchain.
And
Beyond
you know,
Bitcoin and
I met some
Ethereum,
really
there are
amazing
thousands of other
amazing people,
cryptocurrencies, each with
and
unique use cases and technological
I
foundations.
met a
These
lifestyle
include utility
that
tokens
I never
like
knew
Binance
existed,
Coin, privacy-focused
and
coins like Monero, and
a
decentralized
culture,
finance tokens
a
like
lifestyle
Uniswap.
that I never knew existed,
Understanding
and
the
it was
underlying
perfect for
technology
me.
and purpose of
It,
each
it
cryptocurrency is
absolutely
crucial before
suited for
investing.
me,
To invest
and
in cryptocurrencies, you'll need to use an exchange. Popular exchanges include
I
Coinbase,
fell in love with
Binance, Kraken,
streaming,
and Gemini.
and
Coinbase
the
is beginner-friendly
room
with a
that
clean
we
interface
were
and
gonna
straightforward
let him
processes,
stay
making
in,
it an excellent choice for
I
new
used for
investors.
streaming,
Binance caters to more
and
advanced traders with a wide selection
I,
of coins,
I became
fees,
addicted to
and additional
streaming,
features
and
like futures trading and
I
staking.
would kind
Kraken
of
is
spend
known for
more
its
time
robust
streaming than I would spend with him.
and
He'd
comprehensive support
he'd
for
come home
fiat
from work,
currencies, while Gemini
and
emphasizes regulatory compliance and
I would
security,
stream
appealing to
instead of
institutional
hanging out with
investors.
him,
To
and
get started, create an account
I
on your chosen
kind
exchange and
of
complete the Know Your
broke up with
process by
him,
verifying your
and
identity.
we
Once
had
verified,
gotten in an argument one
deposit
day, and I
funds
was
using a
like,
bank transfer, credit
fuck
card,
you
or other
then,
supported
like,
payment methods. Be mindful of
and
deposit and
anywho,
withdrawal fees, which vary
so
by exchange. Once you've purchased cryptocurrencies, it's essential to store them securely.
I was
Exchanges
streaming,
provide custodial
and
wallets by default,
then
but these are
while I
not
was
a safe
streaming,
option for long-term storage.
I
Instead,
started
using a hardware
I started
wallet like
talking
Ledger or
to
Trezor, which stores your private keys
one of my
offline,
gifters,
protecting your assets from hacking attacks.
and
Software
we
wallets
would
like
stream
MetaMask or
together,
Trust Wallet are also popular,
and we
particularly for
would
interacting
talk to
with
each other all the
decentralized
time,
applications and DeFi
you know,
platforms. Understanding
and
how blockchain
on and
technology
off the
works
app,
is critical
and
for cryptocurrency investing.
this is
A blockchain
this
is
is
a
before
distributed ledger that
I
records
had
all transactions across a network of
I had a
computers.
moment where
Each
I was
transaction
like,
is grouped into a block, which is then added to a
it
chain
was
of previous blocks.
it was
This structure ensures that data is
it
immutable
was
and transparent. Mining and staking are two
how can
common methods
how
for
can I
validating transactions and maintaining the
it
blockchain.
was
Mining involves
it
solving
had
complex
been
mathematical puzzles to
mutually
add blocks to the
beneficial,
chain, as seen in
and
Bitcoin. Staking, used in proof-of-stake systems
you know,
like Ethereum,
and
2.0, and Cardano,
it
involves locking up a certain amount of cryptocurrency to
it kept
participate
our
in the validation
psyches,
process and earn rewards.
stiggity,
Research is a critical
and
component of cryptocurrency investing.
we had
Start by evaluating the
we had broken up
project,
before
which outlines its goals,
we
technology,
announced
and
it
use cases.
on live,
Assess the team's experience and
because
track record, as well
I
as
was
the
like,
project's partnerships and community support.
I was
Platforms like CoinMarketCap,
whenever you're
provide
dating someone, you have to, keep the reasons to be jealous to a minimum. You have to try not to do things to make that person jealous, and it was similar. It was like, I like you a lot, would you like to be my girlfriend? And make it official. And it was,
and small cap projects for higher risk reward opportunities. No matter what you're investing in, risk management.
It worked out at the time. And whenever I had broken up with him, I started to talk to the guy that I was living with before I moved with my mom.
Periodically ensures that your investments align with your goals and risk tolerance. To maximize your chances of success, consider using investment tools and platforms. For cryptocurrency analysis, tools like trading
whole
allow
journey.
you to create and analyze charts with customizable indicators. Coinmetrics provides institutional-grade data on crypto assets, while Masari
I wouldn't necessarily say it was a
research
journey.
reports
It
and
was,
market insights.
kind
Blockchain
of a roller
explorers
coaster.
blockchain enable you to track transactions and verify activity on specific addresses, enhancing your due diligence process. If you're serious about investing, consider taking courses to deepen your knowledge. Platforms like Coursera, Udemy, and Khan Academy offer comprehensive courses on topics like blockchain technology, cryptocurrency investing, and portfolio management. Books like The Bitcoin Standard by Saifuddin Amos and Mastering Ethereum by Andreas Antonopoulos are excellent resources for understanding the technical and economic aspects of cryptocurrencies. For real estate, the book on rental property investing by Brandon Turner is a fantastic guide to building long-term wealth through property ownership.
Need a little bit of, just a little bit of makeup,
Can provide valuable insights and support. Forums like Reddit's r/r cryptocurrency, r real estate, and r investing are great for discussing strategies and staying updated on market trends. Twitter is another valuable resource for following industry experts and thought leaders, but be cautious about taking advice from unverified sources. Finally, tracking your performance and adjusting your strategy over time is key to long-term success. Use tools like Personal Capital or Mint to track your overall portfolio performance and net worth. For more advanced tracking, platforms like CoinTracker and Delta offer specialized features for cryptocurrency portfolios, including tax reporting
and I was that freaking girl.
real estate. Tools like
That is
Stessa
true.
help you track rental income,
That is true.
expenses, and ROI, making property management easier.
Figures.
Investing is a journey that requires patience, discipline, and continuous
How
learning.
everything
By understanding the
was,
fundamentals, using
how
the right
everything
tools,
turned
and
out to
staying
be,
informed, you can
well
navigate the
suited
complexities of the
and,
stock market, cryptocurrencies, real estate, and other investments with
there were
confidence.
times
Remember,
where
the goal isn't
I
just to
felt
make money, but to
that
build sustainable
he
wealth over
knew
time.
me better than I
Luck,
knew
happy
myself.
investing. Starting an online business is an
And,
exciting journey filled with
he
opportunities to
had
create
the-
financial independence and
he had the
pursue your
want
passions.
to
However, succeeding
know
in the
me,
digital marketplace
and
requires a combination of planning, execution,
That's
and
what,
adaptability. This guide
things
will walk you
sometimes
through
are,
every
some
essential
things
step,
are,
from identifying your niche
that
and
I
setting up
believe
your
that some
online
things
presence
are meant
to
to
marketing
last,
your products or
you know, a
services and
lifetime.
scaling your business. By the
And
end, you'll have a clear roadmap to
those
launch
things
and
find
grow
you.
your online venture successfully.
And those
The first step
things,
in starting an online
you know,
business is choosing a niche.
let
A
that
niche
be known,
is the
like,
specific
hey,
market segment
you
you want to
will
serve.
you be my
To
girlfriend?
identify the right niche, think about your interests, skills, and the problems you can solve for others. For example, if you're passionate about fitness, your niche could be home workout plans or fitness equipment for small spaces. It's important to validate your niche by researching its demand. Use tools like Google Trends to see how popular your niche is over time. Keyword research tools like Ahrefs and SEMrush can also help you understand search volumes and
There's so many
competition
ways
terms.
to
Once you've
communicate
chosen your
love,
niche, the next
to
step is
communicate
developing your business
interest, to
idea.
communicate,
Consider what type of online
that
business
you're on
model
the
suits
same
your
page
goals.
with
For
someone.
instance, You might start an
And I
e-commerce
think
store,
that's very
offer
romantic.
digital
I think
products
that's
like ebooks or
as
online courses,
romantic
run a
as
subscription
buying,
service, or provide freelancing services.
buying
Each model has its pros and
buying
cons.
dinner,
E-commerce
you know,
businesses allow you to sell physical products, but they require
giving,
inventory
giving a
management
girl
and shipping
things so
logistics.
she
Digital
can,
products have
you
low
know,
overhead costs
buy
and
something
can be
nice,
scaled easily,
you
but
know.
require upfront effort
All
to
that
create.
is really romantic
Subscription
in
services
some
provide
ways,
recurring
and some
income
ways
but
it's
need
just
constant
very
value delivery to
affectionate,
retain customers.
you know.
After deciding on your business model, it's time to create a brand. Your brand
Everyone likes
encompasses
my
everything
food.
from
I
your
often
business
have
name
to
and
cook for
logo
my
to your website
siblings.
design and messaging.
You know,
Choose a name that's memorable,
I cook a really good
relevant to your
sandwich.
niche, and easy to spell. Platforms like Namecheap can help you secure
So
a domain name that
the
matches your brand.
foundation I
Use
put
tools
on
like Canva
is
or
a
Adobe
little bit
Express to
light.
design a professional
And I've
logo.
been tanning.
Your brand should also have a
So
clear
I have
mission
some
and tone
tan
of voice that resonate with
powder
your target audience. The next step is building your online presence. A website is the
works
foundation of
perfectly
any
for my
online
skin.
business. Platforms
skin
like
tone.
Shopify and WordPress make it easy to set up a professional-looking site without coding experience. Shopify is ideal for e-commerce
And
businesses
because
as it
it
includes
is a
built-in
liquid
tools for
foundation,
product
sometimes
management,
it makes
payment
my
processing, and inventory tracking. WordPress is more
skin look a
flexible
little
and can be
oily,
customized with
you
plugins like
know, and with
WooCommerce
the
for
natural
e-commerce
light,
functionality
and
or LearnDash for online
this
courses.
light right here is
Regardless
like a
of the
natural
platform you
light,
choose, make sure your website is mobile-friendly, fast,
and the
and
photos
easy
still
to navigate.
remain.
Include essential pages like an about
So,
page, a contact page, and a privacy policy. If you're selling physical products, you'll need to manage inventory and shipping. Decide whether you'll handle these tasks yourself or use a fulfillment service like
sometimes
Amazon FBA
you
or
know,
Shipwell.
someone from,
Dropshipping is another
times
popular
that
option where you
you
partner with
were,
suppliers who handle
you were
inventory
in
and shipping
high
for you.
school,
Tools
or
like Overload and
times you were in
SpotLink
middle
help you
school,
find reliable
you
dropshipping
know,
suppliers. For
because the
digital
same
products,
as how
platforms like
people
Gumroad and Teachable
marry
make
young
it
or
easy
they
to sell
become
and
in
deliver
serious
your content.
relationships at a young age,
Marketing is a critical
don't
component
be
of any
afraid
online
to,
business.
don't ever be
Start by
afraid to tell
identifying your
people that
target
you're
audience and
sorry,
understanding their
because,
needs, preferences,
it's
and online
easy
behavior.
to blame
Create customer
people,
personas to
and it's
guide your
harder
marketing
to,
efforts. Content
it's
marketing
harder
is one of the
to,
most effective ways to
own
attract
up to
and engage your
things,
audience. Start a
and
blog,
to,
create videos, or launch a
know,
podcast to provide valuable information and establish
and
yourself
be
as an
stiggity
authority in your
stiggity,
niche.
and
SEO
to,
tools like Ahrefs and
you know,
SEMrush
to
can help
own
you
up to
optimize
things
your
the best that
content for
you
search
can,
engines and drive organic
You
traffic
shouldn't
to
feel
your
this way
site.
for someone who obviously
Social
doesn't
media
care.
is another powerful
I obviously care at 3 a.m.
Platforms like
We talk all
Instagram,
the time.
Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn allow you to
And
connect
I do, but
directly
I'm
with
so
your
afraid
audience,
that,
showcase your products or
that.
services, and build a community around your brand. Tailor your content to
You
each
know,
platform.
we always
Use
have
tools like
some
Buffer or
amazing
Hootsuite to
conversations
schedule
here.
posts and track
We really
engagement.
do.
Paid advertising can also boost your visibility. Platforms like Google Ads and Facebook Ads
And
allow you
sometimes
to target specific
I'm quiet
demographics
all
and
day,
interests,
and
ensuring
then
your
I
ads reach the
stream,
right people.
and we have some really lit conversations. It's good to be honest. Even if the honesty might hurt someone's feelings. It's better to be honest than, and if you do feel like you hurt someone's feelings, forgive those people and forgive yourself, Instead of being a friend to those girls or women like being into passion the average loser boy best friend. I don't feel like anyone is a loser. We don't, there's no such thing as losers. The only time, if you're negative and you're, super secretive, I feel like that's unsteady. You want to be honest, Sometimes it's hard to reach out to people and tell them how you feel, so you have to find different ways of reaching out to people and telling them how you feel. And sometimes, to share agoraphobia with someone is something special. to stay in the house. And, I read that people in a relationship live longer. Ask ChatGPT. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, demon. Sometimes it's luck and sometimes it's fate. If you believe in fate, you believe that some things in life are for you. And you might believe in soul tribe, people that were with you many lifetimes. And, in this lifetime, it's just perfect, synchronicity that, not only were you guys put on earth, placed on earth within the same timeline of being alive. This lifetime, guys, we have lived through 2 eclipses. There's so many, amazing things about this lifetime. And, there's so many things to be appreciative of. ChatGPT is one thing, something to focus on. I have the Gemini on my phone, and mind you, I've had a festival. My first festival was called Gemini Fest. User put on what? That pic? Oh no. I'm like, if you want to see, just imagine. Oh my gosh. So I was so pissed whenever I lost word versus word. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna play bubble shooter. And I was like, after I watched it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually enjoying watching myself play word versus word. So iconic that why you read the messages. Oh my gosh, so I did apologize about that in the stream because I know that I was reading my messages and I was not paying attention to that. I was reading my messages. Often whenever I stream, my friends, reach out to me and, that is stiggity. And sometimes, people reach out to me and I don't respond. Sometimes I'm just too overwhelmed or too busy to respond. And I don't regret it because whenever I respond whenever I can. And it's easier, if you're there with someone, you can respond. Either, yeah. That you're not getting regret about having fun. I am happy that you don't regret me having fun. I'm happy that, we can have our relationship the best way that we can have our relationships on here. Somebody shared the broadcast. I was like, thank you for sharing the broadcast. Here, I have my teddy bear. Does my teddy bear look nice? My teddy bears. Oh. I need to practice my guitar. Practice my guitar. You're cool, you're good, you're fine. Thank you! No, you're cool, you're good, you're fine. Elijan Malabad. Elijan Malabad. That is a very stingy name. You can't go on thinking nothing is wrong. Tell me what's wrong, Hasnain. Tell me what's wrong. Where were you the last time you cried? Oh my gosh, Dolly G Bluegers. Whenever I was living in the mountains, you're pulling it in, okay? Thank you. Whenever I was living in the mountains, I had a moment, where there's a few times that I've cried on stream. There's times that I've had a few drinks, and the drinks kind of brought out my emotions, and and sometimes you miss someone so much, and sometimes whenever they're not there, and it's hard or it's tough to, you might have your contact with them the way that, you might have your contact with them in ways that may seem obscure, and that might just be normal to you, I'm looking to leave for the papaya. My mom bought me a new vape, and I wanted to open it on stream. And she bought me the most, she bought me the most yucky flavor. And I was like, oh my gosh, Dolly G. Willigers. It's like, I should have told her that I wanted the watermelon flavor. Because, alright, so this flavor is blueberry, blackberry blueberry. And it's nice. I just can't, I don't want another month of blueberry blackberry. I want another flavor. I'm vaping. I'm not smoking. I did have like half a cigarette, and then Mom came in and she brought me a pack of decades. No, this is coffee. She was wanting to run to the store together, and I was like, oh man, I was hoping she could run back to the store and just switch it out for the watermelon flavor. So we can open it on stream. It was a surprise, I thought that, and it's really cool because she knows that I have like 3% left in, I have 3% in my vape. You can become a girl using your powers. It's not about being a girl. It's about, being honest. And maybe some girls are more honest. And there are men that are really honest. You can become a girl using your powers. I would say that it's really tough being a girl. You have all these emotions. You have all these emotions that are, compartmentalized emotions, and that's why, you have instances of me crying on the stream, because, you just compartmentalize your emotions, and are you ready for the concert on FM1? I didn't know that there was a concert on FM1. I know that we're playing music. Oh, we're having a party. We're having a freaking party. You can't hear what's playing on my stream unless you click into my stream. And it'll help, because, we want that viewer count to be as high as possible. What's in the tea? No, it's actually coffee. It's coffee. It's coffee. everyday stiggity, and it has mushrooms on it. And there's a mushroom at the bottom of it. It's really stiggity. I got it for my birthday.
Cryptocurrency investing, approach with a long-term perspective, can be a powerful
you're not going to be lonely
while
whenever
supporting
you're with
emerging
me.
technology that has the potential to
Whenever you're with
reshape
me,
modern society. However,
we're going to be having fun, we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff, and hopefully hopefully my stories relate, containing about 10 million neurons. This is not a grand genius, this shows how insightful, intelligent, and smart I am. Thank you so much, I think it requires intelligence to be honest and, sometimes, alright, so there, if you're not,
Bitcoin have already disrupted traditional finance
if you are a person to have, to be really close with your friends, or to, and I've never been close to my friends in a sexual way, other than,
by understanding the
whenever,
potential of these technologies,
whenever you don't, you need that confirmation, you need that time together, you need to have effort. For relationships, you need the E for effort. You need that effort to be connected, you have to talk to them, you have to stay in contact with them, ask them questions, and, is to invest no more than you have to show that you're interested. Maybe bring them on dates. If you have a job, a job is for making money, money is for spending. That's my saying. Job is for making money, money is for spending. So, you want to you want to spend your money on that, you want to spend your money on that person, and you want to try to be as close as you can to that person. And, you want to be honest with that person. You want to be brutally honest with that person. Even if it might hurt them, you must be honest with them, because, how else are you going to be connected if you're not, honest somehow?
Are notable for their focus on scalability.
And I was talking about my sidekick. My sidekick had drove all the way to Virginia, to save me from my situation. You lost your picture a little while ago.
Active development teams and growing communities. Avoid
there are many versions of sidekick. There's sidekick beats. There's two sidekicks on here. One is from Australia, and one has moved to Georgia with her brother and his father to be a coder.
This approach smooths out the impact of
how amazing is that?
And allows you to accumulate assets over time.
You were embarrassed, so you deleted it. Oh my gosh! So, maybe it's not a great idea to be all, drunk as a skunk and, commenting. Especially if you're not sure how that person feels about you. Whenever I know that, these people love me, I'm cool, we're cool, these people love me, we've had time together, we've bonded, we know each other, we trust each other, we love each other, and then, you can comment some stuff and things, not only for you, for everyone, because how amazing, would it be if your favorite streamer, your favorite personality, your favorite podcaster had commented on your page? had liked your stuff. And the thing about liking stuff on Twitter, it's cool on Facebook. They used to have this thing where you could track you could track where the person, is liking and commenting. And then you would, if you imagine, how that person is, or how that person was with you, you might think that that person is like that with everyone else. So, and maybe it's not. Maybe you just were special, and so you received the best version of that person within the times that you spent with that person. Okay, now tell me, what was the most embarrassing moment for you?
Through staking may trigger tax obligations.
I'm kind of talking about it. I'm sure you didn't delete it. How can you delete a picture with your prints? You're so emotional. Now that is not, that is not embarrassing. It's for to have, to have an account or something banned because they're like, oh, you guys are too close or something. That's not embarrassing. That's just it's kind of painful, because whenever you're so close,
is not about chasing quick profits, but
sometimes nothing else matters.
By maintaining a disciplined approach and believing in the transformative power of blockchain technology, you can position yourself for long-term success in the cryptocurrency market.
And if you're not, if you are close,
with careful
you
planning, sensible spending, and a long-term
it's really,
perspective, it can be
I was looking at the progression of my page and I was like, this is perfect because, it shows that, I was like, I'm not out here looking for relationships. I think that's unladylike. I think that's, and things and stuff and such. You don't just go, meet people and, sleep with them and stuff.
If you apply everything shown
And
in this
impatience.
and put in honest effort, I can guarantee you that soon you'll be making several $1,000s per month. With the
Whenever you message someone, you want a response.
Many people are quitting their 9-to-5 jobs and moving.
You want an honest response.
And 6 and even 7 figures.
Some people have to ask ChatGPT. So it's, you should be happy to hear that there is someone
in this video
who's willing to,
affiliate marketing,
give you the time of day.
Your very own website and more. Let's get started.
Assalamu
Digital
alaikum.
marketing is all about promoting products or services online. You've probably seen examples of it every day, from Instagram ads to YouTube sponsorships to those blog posts that sneakily include links to buy something. What makes digital marketing so powerful is its versatility and reach. You can start small and with the right strategy, grow it into a sustainable source of income.
Big up to
Let's
y'all.
start by breaking it down into 3 major components: affiliate
Users,
marketing,
what other
Google
users?
AdSense, and website building. I'll walk you through each step, share tips, and throw in real-world examples to help you succeed. First
I
up,
do
affiliate
still
marketing.
have,
If you've
I
ever
do
clicked
still
on a
play
product link in a
amazing.
YouTube video description or a blog, chances are it was an affiliate link. Essentially, affiliate marketing allows you to
I'm not a comedian, I think you are trying to, according to me.
Unique link. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're passionate about fitness. You could create a blog where you review fitness equipment like yoga mats or dumbbells. You sign up for an affiliate program, let's say Amazon Associates, and every time someone clicks on your link and buys that yoga mat, you earn a percentage of the sale. Pretty cool, right?
Alright, so,
But how do you actually start? First, pick a niche. This could be anything you're passionate about or have knowledge of. It could be tech gadgets, travel gear, fashion, or even something super niche like gardening tools. The more...
how long were you listening to that? I'm sorry. I was like freaking... 57, I have no idea. I have literally no idea what they were talking about in that. And I apologize. Y'all were probably like, what the heck in the square are we listening to? Einstein admitted that magnets are weird. You know, Einstein was talking about magnets. We are like yellow flowers being by humans overthinking. What do you guys want to talk about? You know? Oh, there's a Haji. How can I dream with your eyes when you stole my dream? You know, do you want to be that person that, you know, you talk to those that and maybe those that you talk to, they don't know if you care or not, you know? I can get this. I'm a genius, right? So, it is 7. And we're gonna have some dinner. My friend was gonna buy some dinner. Maybe at Hooters or something. And, what if your friends were private investigators, guys? That would be cool. So we could have Goober Gossip we could stream Goober Gossip, and then whenever I have my stream mic, because right now I only have my mic for the camera. So there's an echo, and I cannot, I could record it on my phone. That would be kind of cool. How's that Salma? Salma's in the chat. Extension lead. Oh my gosh, did you guys watch that video? I think it was an insurance video where this guy was like driving by and this guy freaking blew the leaves into his car, and then, he was like, you couldn't see it. And then he got out of the car, and then there was just leaves falling out everywhere. Okay, describe me. See, the thing is, I know what y'all are talking about. And a lot of the times we're talking about the same thing. And, it just matches up. It matches together. No matter what, Shehash, I can make your older sister my girlfriend. And, I know that. Gorilla's Dare video. Oh my gosh, Gorillas is such it is an emotional ride, because Gorillas is just amazing. and much wisdom. I wonder if the sound is good. I won't know until I rewatch it on YouTube. Shout out YouTube! not a liar, and I'm not trans. And we, then we could, we could transport him. We'd be transporting, through time and space to be here with you right now. Is that lit or what? That is pretty lit. Where are you? If you saw my skills, man. Oh my gosh, I have all these freaking sunglasses. What are they? Hater blockers. Have you ever, unfriended somebody and then felt really bad? And then you kind of wish that they send you a friend request? Or, or have you ever, I think, it's better to have two accounts, because, each account might have, different views, different people on the account. Even if they're the same people, they might interact with one of your accounts. They might interact with one of your accounts, more than the other. Or they might interact with your alt account. They might interact with your alt account. Things is done with it. How are you today? You're a robot. I'll turn you off with one click. I'm not a robot. This is my mask. Got strategy logos. It's my mask. My mask. Thank you for sharing the broadcast. Thank you for sharing the broadcast. Must be the arcane soundtrack. Now this is my soundtrack. Hello, anyone from France? I bet you there's probably a bunch of people from France in the chat. What type of mind reader? Your teleport or intangible of the concealment? Now, because I'm a mind reader, and because I have the tendency to, we have the tendency to be talking about the same things at the same time, forever. If I was thinking about being somewhere else, do you guys remember the time I packed up some stuff and I was gonna catch a private jet to somewhere out right. It's from, you probably heard it in my episodes. Oh my gosh, Dollar Tree Villagers. There's this one time, and it's y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Why you don't sell magic items or items imbued with the power instead of your soul of the demon devil, which is equivalent. Milkzilla. Genius Milkzilla. My friend from Lebanon had a company called Genius Music. My knowledge about business, that would be for my husband. Okay, then call him. Even if he can't win over me. I don't know too much about you, but it's trust me in this. Alright. Alright. This game is so fun, and it's so fun to watch me play. Now I know that we're talking about the same thing. And we be having kind of conversations. Receive. Right. We don't lie. You don't lie about your date. You have to be honest and truthful, or else you're not gonna have a good relationship. You have to be honest and truthful.
Where you get that little bag from?
Trap. Date trap.
Where you get that little? Where you get that little bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Where you get that little bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Where you get that little bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Where you get that little bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Where you get that little bag from? Get that low. Get that. Where you get that low? Where you get that? Where you get that low? Bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Where you get that low? Bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Where you get that low? Bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Bag from? Where you get that low? Where you get that low?
If you're looking to make the easiest money of your life online on the internet, you need to check out the exciting world of digital marketing. This is a quick introduction where I'll show you everything you need to know to get started doing digital marketing and beyond. If you apply everything shown in this video and put in an honest effort, I can guarantee you that soon you'll be making several $1,000s per month, with the option to scale it further if you so desire. In this day and age, many people are quitting their 9-to-5 jobs and moving over to the world of digital marketing and making 6 and even 7 figures a year from the comfort of their own homes, while others choose to use their newly found freedom to travel all around the world while they run their online hustle on the side. In this video, we'll cover digital marketing, affiliate marketing, Google AdSense, Wix, Amazon, building your very own website, and more. Let's get started. Digital marketing is all about promoting products or services online. You've probably seen examples of it every day, from Instagram ads to YouTube sponsorships to those blog posts that sneakily include links to buy something. What makes digital marketing so powerful is its versatility and reach. You can start small and with the right strategy, grow it into a sustainable source of income. So let's start by breaking it down into 3 major components: affiliate marketing, Google AdSense, and website building. I'll walk you through each step, share tips, and throw in real-world examples to help you succeed. First up, affiliate marketing. If you've ever clicked on a product link in a YouTube video description or a blog, chances are it was an affiliate link. Essentially, affiliate marketing allows you to earn a commission every time someone buys a product through your YouTube link. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're passionate about fitness. You could create a blog where you review fitness equipment like yoga mats or dumbbells. You sign up for an affiliate program, let's say Amazon Associates, and every time someone clicks on your link and buys that yoga mat, you earn a percentage of the sale. Pretty cool, right? But how do you actually start? First, pick a niche. This could be anything you're passionate about or have knowledge of. It could be tech gadgets, travel gear, fashion, or even something super niche like gardening tools. The more specific, the better. Once you've chosen your niche, sign up for affiliate programs like Share a Sale.
Busy. Again. Oh, not Simon! We'll play this commercial and They won that one. Fireworks. Fireworks!
You can say all kind of shit.
It froze. Alright, one more round and we'll end that.
Say all kind of shit. Kind of shit. You can say
Goofy. Call him in Francis. Hey Francis. We're playing word word. Oh, we leveled up. We leveled up. Sticky, sticky. You guys want to play more? You guys want to play more? You want up the word foreign. We still getting some EXP. Bless you all. I hope you find happiness in this life. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, I will. I will. Have a good look at my future. Approximately what time? That's right. I have to have my afternoon meds late. I have to have my afternoon meds late. Need time to walk. Did you guys enjoy that word verse word? Stickity, stickity. Stickity, stickity. Hello. I would love the other guy who are. I have no problem. The mom was like, no. Stickity, stickity. Alright. And my morning news. Afternoon dose before my night dose. And before I sell, let's use the rest of them. Alright, be right back. Alright. Stickity, stickity. We shall be right back. Shall be right back. We are back. That's enough to make the money thing. You know that saying? They're like, I love you so much, I would donate a kidney to you. I've had multiple people tell me that. It is 8:22. It's 8:22. I'm a cruel girl. Oh, a cool girl. Yeah, I'm a cool girl. Remember not our last episode, our most recent episode, and we get texting. Yeah, it's nice whenever we put reverse word. It is 8:24 for me. So if it's 8:24 for me, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. It is 3 in the morning for y'all. What do y'all do in spam in the chat? Y'all miss me? I miss you. I follow you where. Stickity, stickity. You guys are night owls? I'm night owl sometimes too. I know. Okay, so there was this I don't know, this sort of directions about something. You know, I should find where that was because woo! Beat it, automatic, supersonic, hypnotic, funky, fresh. With my body so melodic, makes me feel like more chips. Have somebody work harder. Supersonic, hypnotic, funky, fresh. With my body so melodic, makes me body so melodic. Let me see you on TikTok. Have somebody. Let me see you on TikTok. Let me see you on TikTok. Stiggity, stiggity. Who's spamming hearts? Who's spamming hearts? Who's doing it? Who's spamming hearts? Probably some yeah, this is some exercise. Some good exercise. Stiggity, stiggity. Dance party. Why we know you're pregnant. You don't know about that. With sciences today, you know, to preserve a good woman, sometimes, you know, you have to surrogate. You know? You guys want to play your word with word? Let me know. Let me know. You guys, it is 3 o'clock in the morning for y'all. Good morning. 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30. It's 3:30 in the morning. Y'all having a good time, huh? I'm happy you are. This is live. Be sure to check this out on YouTube. Ennyarodasi on YouTube. To the top to the top of the anybody else, huh? Let's hear what you think about me. I love. I know it's the one. That's my enemy, but yeah. Sana. I remember you. Of course. We were in the Arizona show yesterday. More wavers, wavers! We're having fun tonight. We are partying. I gained. I'm sorry, I gained. That was combination. You saw it, okay. you.